We're going to watch Moncell dance.
Yeah.
And we're going to watch a clip that is so important for those of us in the Lindy Hop community, Hell's a Poppin'. So let's move on to our last clip. We got some MJ.
Now you can watch the whole thing.
I don't know. You tell me.
It's up to you.
How
It's
long
11
is it?
minutes long.
Well, do you have things to say about all 11 minutes?
Yeah.
Well, then I think we got to do it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's...
I haven't watched this in so long, so hopefully some of it comes back to me. But yeah, there's a lot to say. I actually use the last 4 minutes because people forgot about the last 4 minutes because they took it out. They removed it. They removed it and then they put it back in. And then I think they removed it again. I mean, we starting off, because we can pause, right?
Okay, we'll pause. Yeah.
All right. So again, I'm almost treating you like the students, but I'm
This is
not.
great.
So
I am a student today.
we come in, we're black and white, and the first thing I ask the students, once we get to this position, because I try to teach them how to read it on their own, and then we'll watch it, and then I'll have them like write down the things that stuck out to you.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you what's sticking out to me?
I mean, you can. So like, yeah. So like, what's?
Okay.
So I mean, where are we?
We're in heaven or above the clouds.
Right. What time of day is it?
It's nighttime.
Okay. So we got a moon. We got black and white.
Great.
And we're already considering the whys of black and white. Now, as we go on, notice where the camera is. The camera is up, right?
Yeah.
It's nighttime. Almost gives you a Christmas. So we coming down anywhere USA. It's nighttime. Camera pans down. So we go from this vulnerable state that you see to more of a position of power and authority. But where are we?
We're in a neighborhood.
Right. And what kind of neighborhood?
Middle class?
Middle class suburbs.
Yeah.
We pull up on his window, see the young kid losing his mind, having a good time in his own room. Parents are downstairs in their own world, watching America's sport, baseball, right? Being annoyed by his kid, wilding out, just having a good time. We got Bartman on the wall. Let's go back to that, that image. We see the influence, right?
Yeah. There it is.
Right, and so we're looking at this kid having a good time, but we're looking at some influences, and the most clearly is Bartman and Hammer. So this suburban white kid.
I would never have known that's MC Hammer.
Oh yeah, I know that poster. So right, so this knowing like I hate the terms white and black to describe people that are ridiculous, but you know this young white kid is having a good time through the influence of Hammer, so automatically connected to rap music and dancing. Bartman, who is like the antithesis of Bart, right? Take this other role of who Bart is, this superhero kind of a thing with a dark mask and cape. And him just having a good time. So we go back to mom and dad, and then you're talking about this idea about in suburban culture where the parents are not as engaged with their kids. So the kids is out wilding out doing whatever.
Right.
Mom and dad's worried about TV or doing a thing, or the kid is on TV while the parents are doing something.
Right.
So we're here, we're after work, obviously. He's watching baseball. Keep going.
Okay.
Turn the noise off. Right. So the disconnect between generations, that's not music to him, that's noise.
Right.
But here's the crazy part.
You are wasting your time with this garbage. Now go to bed.
Okay, so pause. So
Michael
Jackson, Jackson crashes, door slams. He's like, turn this noise off. It's too late. It's too loud. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Which Michael took that from Twisted Sister.
Tell me more.
There's Twisted Sister. When the video starts off, we're not going to take it. If you see it, I mean, if you pull up later, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
At the beginning of that film, they're at dinner, and the dad is going off on the kids, and the dad is like, "Turn this noise off! It's twisted, it's junk. You are wasting your time with this." Because he's like, "Twisted Sister," looking at the album. It's like, you are wasting your time with this music. It's the same thing. So that's what George went. That's who he's playing. So this is a take on that music video. Just for his thing, and then you got the gremlin shadow in the background over here.
There's so much in this video.
There's a lot in this video, and we ain't even get to the. It ain't even started. The video hasn't even started. This is the intro. So we're considering all this, right? All these different things, you know, it's nighttime. And the thing about the nighttime, when you look through the scene, if you want to go back to, so look at this neighborhood. What don't you see? You could even go a little bit further into it. Okay,
What
stop.
don't I see? You don't see anybody out at night.
What else don't you see?
You don't see any cars.
What else? Does it look safe?
Super safe.
Right, but it's nighttime.
Right.
In the suburb, there's no trash. Nobody's outside. It doesn't look menacing.
It's sterile.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though it's nighttime, and that's when we're most ready.
Right.
But this is the safest nighttime space I've ever seen in my life. And it seems like everybody is home.
Yeah.
All the lights are on, but the streets are bare. No one is outside.
Wow. Okay.
Which again is still showing you the difference between suburban. So that plays a role as we're going to see another nighttime scene. So let's go back. So here, kid is like, all right, that's how you try to treat me? What in the world did parents buy this kid these big ass speakers for? Look at those speakers. So there's clearly, let's distract him with stuff and we don't ignore, like, and this is absolutely insane because, yeah, are you nuts? Yes. Now, blows dad out of the house. Dad goes flying through the night sky, again, looking like Santa Claus in this whole image. Now, of all of this, and the question of black and white, where's the first place that George went falls? Because the question is, it's multiple. It's around Michael Jackson. Is he black or is he white?
Okay.
It's around the idea of what black and white, or why are we fixated on black and white? And then Michael is letting you know the very first place you land is in Africa. So yeah, I'm very much aware of my blackness. Keep going.
Yeah.
So we land. Now, they're not doing traditional African dance. It's more like modern dancers.
Yeah, these are just lions.
Right, those are just lions, but they're not people. So when he lands, you see this is very tribal. They're on the hunt.
Yeah.
And they're not doing African dances, really.
Yeah.
They're just a mix of some African inspired movement and kind of a modern-esque, way of moving their bodies that you necessarily do in Africa.
Do you know how this was filmed? Was this on a green screen?
I don't. But the position of Michael being in the center of them, this is a key thing to think about, where is he positioning himself within it. So this is collectively, I'm a part of this, right? So then we change directions and we're going to Cambodia. Traditional dances happening here, but where is Michael? He is in the back. Even though he is superstar Michael Jackson, he is behind these women, positioning them in the front, presenting there.
Wait, so do you think he thought through this?
Oh yeah, he's methodical.
Huh.
Everything is intentional with him.
Wow.
Like, he's meticulous, and I don't know, what I'm sharing with you is my observation, how I read it.
Right.
But I would not be surprised if he was, this is a highly intelligent human being. I would not be surprised if he didn't think all of this out, that it was important.
What was the symbol?
Why is it symbolic? Because I'm collectively with the African tribe, but here I'm not upstaging. I'm in the point of I'm learning. This is not my culture.
Right.
I'm presenting their culture. And so they should be in the front. Right? So he is a student. Even when he walks up, he doesn't walk in front of them. He walks up to them. Now, this is a really interesting thing between the indigenous, right? And people miss it. So can we stop?
Yeah.
So the big thing to notice here is now Michael has taken the indigenous and placed them on a platform. It begins with a pure white background. But then we have two things happening. He is with the tradition, right? And then you have America's viewpoint of what is the Indians like. Oh, they're riding horses. It's very bland. Everything is beige, and they're screaming and yelling and shooting guns.
Yeah.
But this is what they really are. But this isn't the story that America shows. America shows riding horses, screaming, yelling, dust, tan garb, everything is earth tone.
Right.
And so to see that
vibrant and alive.
Right. And then to see the actual traditional dances, even down to the young kids. Keep going. Yeah. That's this is Hollywood's version, and here's reality. right? Even having the kids in it. And they're raised up above. So it's like we're letting you know this is more important. This is what we're gonna hold up. Here, same thing, we're in India. Talking about industry, growing industry, but again, Michael is still behind.
Yeah, and they could have shot this at the Taj Mahal. They could
They
have
could have shot at Taj Mahal,
right,
but
right.
they're thinking about what is this this industry, this engineering. It's not the word I'm looking for, but like how the industry there is feeding in terms of industry.
Right.
The smokestacks and the cars, and it's just looking at a different thing of what's happening in that community,
wow,
in that culture. But again, Michael's still behind, and is the one that's learning in this moment. You're talking about oil, you're talking about all these other things that have to do with politics. Here, we're in Russia. Now, in Russian culture, like African culture, they're like, you got to get in this. You got to be a part of this. So here's where he's not necessarily being centered, even though he is, but he's being a part of it. Really cool things is he's still doing locking movement from the 70s in that. So Michael never lost his interest in the locking. Now, this next scene is really something to investigate. We're going back to kids. Idea of black and white sitting on the planet. We're not worried about color. Kids don't know nothing about color. They just play. I see another kid. But then you go to here, and you're coming through the flames. You see tanks. You see burning crosses, swastikas, and he's letting you know, I'm not scared of this whole thing. Right? This is what y'all projecting onto us as a society. Now, it's nighttime still, but look at the nighttime here.
Right.
Where are we?
Right.
We're on brownstones, there's graffiti, there's trash everywhere, but then there's multi-ethnic kids dressed in hip-hop attire. And like that's enough, but the main rapper is a white kid.
Yeah.
So which is pointing at who gets the visibility in this rap game, right?
Wow.
And what does that do when somebody like an Eminem comes into the picture? So yeah, it's looking at all this, and then here is just sort of this collective of globalized icons, iconic buildings and what have you. And he's still talking about, this idea of black and white. So then we go through this whole morphing. And the key thing to watch about this is one thing that people forget, right? There's only one race, and that's humans. There is no such thing as color doesn't define people, right? There is no race as on the black race, on the white. No, that doesn't exist. Human race exists, and that's it. And all human beings are the exact same color. It's just the spectrum. So you're either on the darkest end of the spectrum or the lightest end of the spectrum. That's why you see tan bodies. Even if you get a little darker, there's still, you see that. And so when you look at look at a human person, a human being, you can hit pause.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter again, to take his lyrics, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. If I'm going to paint you, if I want to paint you, the first three colors I'm going to start with is cream, beige, and tan.
Okay.
There might be pink rose for your lips.
Okay.
There might be some canary yellow here and there. Some people might have olive green skin tone, so we have to put that in. Some people have burnt umber, so we got to go into a little more orange. But all the shadow is going to be brown. When you just look at the skin, it's like that's all you see to get the darkest tone. So when you paint, it's like everybody is brown. You'll have brown spots on your skin. I'll have lighter spots on my skin. We're all in the same color spectrum. It's just a different hue. Right. And which they're like, well, white people tan. Yeah, they get browner because that's all we're all the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what that part is showing that I would say I see a black person, a white person, a Mexican person, but we see all these different ethnicities. The problem we get to black and white, it's derogatory to call an Asian person yellow. And it's derogatory to call an indigenous person red man. Then it should be derogatory to call somebody black or white. What that tells you or tells us is you don't know where you come from. Because it was like, well, this person's white. No, they're Polish. Or they're German. Or they're French. Or they're Italian. Or, that's what they are.
Right.
And why they're black? Nah, they're probably Brazilian or Dominican or Puerto Rican or African. And then the African is not a monolith. So then we got to go into, oh, they're from Igbo, they're from, right, you could be from Ghana, you could be from wherever. So just understanding where they're from in that on the continent, and then who are they then, right? Are they from Nigeria? Are they from Senegambia? Are they from, and then who they identify with? Are they Yoruba? Are they Igbo? Are they this? Are they that? And so that's the conversation people don't want to have, especially if you're white or black, because you really don't know. You don't think about what your lineage is. So
and
it's
what a
like,
richer conversation would that be,
right?
If that's what you were naming,
right? Because I mean, the black and white thing is a construct that I mean, without getting into the whole thing, is dealing with the wealthy and the poor, but which really wasn't a term until like the 1650s or whatever, that stuck. But back before 1600, people identified themselves by one of two ways: either where they were from or their religion. So the black-white thing is like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. There are no such thing as black people, and there's no such thing as white people. There's no white country. There's no black country. Ethiopia is of the dark land, but there's no black country. Right? You didn't come from black. You didn't come from country white.
The country of black and the country of white.
You didn't come from there. So it's like, well, where did you from? If you're going to identify in that way, and I can go further to get really esoteric that even takes that away, but this is what I think he's saying here, where you see different ethnicities and you can morph into the other one color because there might be different phenotypes, but as terms of color, it's all shades of brown.
Right.
So as this ends, it gets really interesting. You look at the light, right? And the camera's going up, it's going to a more vulnerable state. But then the camera's going to come back down. And in the midst of all these people, you see what? A panther. Hit pause. So now you see in the midst of all these people, and there's a guy walking by now. The panther is walking in between what is we can call a portal, a doorway, right? And a doorway takes you into the next realm. He's growling at a white statue of George Washington. As he's doing that...
How did you know that's George Washington?
Because I know the statue.
Okay.
I know the statues. I know that statue.
Okay, great.
You can tell, like, the way they would make the way they make statues look different is how the hair is and how they'll have
Sure.
It's all the stuff.
Yeah.
But even if it wasn't, pick any other president, any other, like, but this one is George Washington.
Yeah.
So as he's entering there, those people did not see this Black Panther, but they're all in the same room.
Right.
So now this talks about the invisibility of black folk, because not only are you talking about what represents a black person, but also represents the Black Panther Party.
Wow.
So not just this Black Panther, but how they're invisibilized. This panther's invisibilized in this moment. So what you're going to notice next is there's going to be a person walking past holding a ladder. As soon as that happens and the panther comes through, I want you to hit pause really quick again.
Okay, I just have to say though that I bet most people watch this video and they're like, how cool, there's a panther.
Yeah, they're done.
Okay.
So here, hold on, keep going.
Keep going.
Hit pause.
Okay.
Another ladder. This one's open. So the first ladder a guy was carrying.
Yeah, closed.
Who wasn't 10 feet away from his panther that he doesn't see.
Right.
That one's closed. This one's open. 2 ladders. Keep going. Hit pause again. What's the panther doing?
Going down the stairs.
And what are steps?
Levels.
What 2 things did we just see?
Ladders. You got it. Okay. Yeah.
That's nothing but another ladder.
Third ladder. Okay.
However, we see a person carrying a ladder. The second ladder we see is open, which means somebody's going to go up the ladder, or it's positioned to allow you to ascend up the ladder. This panther is descending down a stairwell, which ultimately is a ladder. You notice the color just changed.
Right.
It was brightly lit. Now it's starting to get dark. Keep going. What did the panther just walk through?
A gate.
Another portal. But what is this one? Hit pause.
It looks like a jail.
Right. It's a jail cell. So you descend down into a space to another portal that this one's constructed by a jail cell. He now transfers from animal, put an M on it, to a manimal, in the case of a mammal, or really a man and an animal within man, so a manimal. Keep going. I don't know why his hat's sitting there, but grabs his hat, pops it on.
Because he's Michael.
He's Michael. He's walking and boom, gets caught. By what did he get caught by?
Spotlight.
Spotlight, helicopter, California.
Yeah.
Staring you dead in your face, you have to look into the eyes. The souls of a person is through their eyes. And he's not breaking, he's just looking. But you're talking about the spotlight captions are got a black male, 6 feet tall, blah, blah, 180 pounds, like that description. So this is what's going on. Like you get caught in the spotlight, but this is representative of a helicopter in California. Right? This is sort of like a moment of existence through movement and vocalization or percussion and pause and poise. So he's in this position. It's not just like some arbitrary thing. He's poised in a particular position. The actual position doesn't matter, but the fact that he goes through the emotion and collects himself. So he's boom, spotlight, response, boom, pauses, collects himself in this moment, stands strong, and we keep going. Cat catches his attention, but doesn't startle. I'm not afraid by that. Right? Nighttime, all types of debris. So this is almost like the root, the tree firmly rooted into the ground. No matter what comes at me, I shall not move. Right? So all types of debris. This is the ills of society. Everything is being thrown at him. And again, staring you dead in the face, making you realize I'm here. We get his signature dance moves, Fred Astaire, his homage to Fred Astaire. We get the percussion. Representative of water brings us back to like Yemaya and Orisha energy. Back to signature dance movement. Vocal percussion. Again, back to Fred Astaire. That's Fred Astaire's actually signature movement. Now we get the line. This is really a kind of a nod to, what's her name? I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar. Can't think of her last name, Reed, but this kind of gives you a thing to that. Now, I can't really, well, let me go to this part. Gene Kelly.
I was going to say, it feels Gene Kelly.
Gene Kelly here. Why does he kick the bottle? Because Michael was against alcohol, and this is pointing out the level of alcohol that are in black communities, like churches. Here, we're talking about this destruction. Now, this is out of frustration of the community, all the ills that are happening in the black community. But however, when this first came out, MTV took it down, and they took this whole last minute off. Then they put it back. And then they put swastikas and stuff on the cars, and they're like, that's why he was crashing the windows, because they couldn't deal with the fact that he was just angry about society. Now, mind you, this was shot right before, hit pause. This was shot right before the verdict for Rodney King. And so it's almost like he's sort of giving you a look into the future if this verdict don't go the right way. And of course, they burnt LA down in 92 after that verdict. But this was shot before that verdict came out, a few months before that verdict came out. So you're also dealing with that. You're also talking about him on top of the car, grabbing his genitals as he always did. And in fact, he's pulling his zipper up, which is like taking a shot at the idea that he's molesting kids, but also like the questioning of his sexuality. He's like, yeah, I'm a sexual being, I'm a man, I'm a black man. And so he's addressing all these different things in this moment. And again, back to the ills of society, which is where all the destruction and damage is coming from. Keep going. Yeah, they put up swastikas and all anti-Semitic images here. So even here, that's to the sexual allegations. You have this sort of dream world, dreamscape part right here. Part reality, part fantasy. Again, sort of connecting to the spiritual body. I'm speculating on whether that's, sexual in its meaning or just in touching the body. The royal arms, because it was London that called him Wacko Jacko. Again, power of water in the Black community and connected to the Orishas. The fact that through the water, through ancestry, he endures and tears down this royal arms, this thing that's connected to royalty in England. That's sort of a pushback against all the tabloids calling him Wacko Jacko. Then he goes back into animal, so back into this beast, this invisible creature, scaling the night. And then you go from such sensitive material back to a cartoon.
Right.
To lighten the load, to like take your mind off of what just happened. But this also depicts the beginning of the film, which still pays homage to Twisted Sister.
Wow. Oh my God, what a journey.
Yeah,
I mean, I can see why they took it out too. It is heavy.
It's heavy. And so that's what the cartoon is supposed to take you out of that. But I'm like, you have to be in it with him to think, where is this going? Like, why are we in this dark? What is this saying?
Yeah.
And so it's really telling people to look at society and the connotations that we place on words, these sense of representations that are depicted and placed upon us. So he's questioning a lot of stuff, not just the idea of his skin color.
Right.
He's questioning society as a whole and the labeling that exists within this matrix labyrinth that we live in that says we're supposed to agree to this language. This is how we negotiate and navigate our space and place. He's questioning everything. And most people look at this video and just think it's entertaining.
So when you first saw this video, did you immediately get it?
Not all that.
Yeah. You're like, there's something here, but you've thought about this over the years.
Yeah. Once I really started reading into films more. So I would say this probably didn't happen until this level. It probably didn't happen until I came to USC 10 years ago. Because that's when I really started teaching the lecture classes that I have. And so before then, I was an adjunct for 14 years. And so it was movement and history at the same time.
Right.
But here it was like 2-hour lecture classes.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, where am I going in this? And let me teach these students how to read film. So we don't just read text. We read text and we deconstruct text, but we read film and we deconstruct that like it is text. So I had to teach them how to read film. And the more I studied it so I could do it and teach them how to do it, then the more I would like discover stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so grateful that you walked us through that music video. It's been years since I've seen that music video. And I certainly had no such brilliance, like I had no idea that it was so, I mean, obviously I knew there was symbolism, but I feel like it was a wonderful education for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I usually do, there's a couple I usually do, like I'll do Beyonce's Formations, which is really, really interesting. And I haven't done Kendrick Lamar's in a while and Childish Gambino and West Side Story, and like a bunch of stuff. Like we go into them.
I feel like we're just going to have to do a round 2 months. So. Like, I feel like there's just, first of all, I wish I could take your class at USC because...
Go in. I go in on them. I don't even know if they understand what's happening, but I'm like, y'all gotta, stop. You have to look beyond the thing and find its meaning and what are they trying to say as an artist. And just, we're talking about, deep structure, not surface level viewing. So I'm like, I need y'all to really get into this. I need you to provoke the idea, ask these questions, and just stop looking at stuff for entertainment. Like, even if that's not what the artist interpreted or meant, what is your interpretation of it? Like, what conversation can you draw from this to thicken how we discuss this, how we see it? It doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, that's exactly what happened. We don't need to know what happened. But let's look at it and figure out, well, what's going on? What do we gather from this?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, how you shape critical thinking, and that's what my class is about. It's about a few other things, but critical thought is what it is. And I know people are running from critical thinking. Those are idiots. But it's like being fully immersed and engaged with the thing that you're doing. I don't care if you make cars for a living. You better have some critical thought about how to best design an engine. And like what can be better. That's critical thinking. Really examining the thing that I'm a part of, that I'm into, to exhaust the possibilities of what this is and what it can be. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, or else like we're not really engaged in anything. We're just here and it's entertainment.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for inviting us to think critically.
Yeah.
And it's been such a pleasure to spend this time with you.
Pleasure's all mine.